Hey warriors, we've got a great creativity session for you today. We're gonna start with a writing prompt, work through a little creativity boosting yoga flow, and then we're gonna create. So whenever you're ready, hop on your mat and let's fight for your creativity. Today's prompt is, once they realized we could email into the past, the world was never the same. But things got really bad when... Hey warriors, and welcome to your rut busting yoga flow. Today you might notice that I don't have a mat, and I'm practicing and doing a few flows and videos without a mat just to show you that you don't always need all the things that come with a traditional yoga practice. You don't always need a mat. A lot of people try to use that as a barrier. You know, I don't have this, so I can't do this. We do it in other areas too. I don't have the perfect writing space, so I can't sit and write. So just kind of showing you that just even if you don't have a mat, you can still practice, and you can still practice with me. So we are gonna be in downward dog a little bit, but that will be okay even if you don't have a mat. So if you have a carpeted space, if you have a wood floor, you might need like a blanket or something like that, but otherwise you should be good. So let's go ahead and get started at the top of our mat, or just in a nice stance, wherever is comfortable for you, where you can see and hear me. I'm gonna start in mountain pose, which is just a strong stance, strong mindful stance, so we're not just standing with our shoulders slumped or in any of the ways with our hip out. We might stand throughout the day. We're standing strong and tall with a lot of length through our spine and our shoulders back, down away from the ears, shoulder blades pulling toward each other, hands shining forward, top of the head reaching for the ceiling, toward the ceiling, to invite some length through the neck and the spine. Belly button is pulled back, up and back toward the spine, which in turn might just give that pelvis a little lift. Once we pull everything into alignment, and once we start to pay attention and are mindful to keeping everything strong, everything else kind of pulls into place as well. So that's what's so great about even simple stances like this in yoga. It just helps bring awareness to the whole body. So again, pressing all four corners of the feet into the ground. Feet can be hips width apart. And just starting to pay attention to the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time, in through the nose and sigh it out through the mouth. And then we'll start to flow. So we'll inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, dropping the hands through center, bending at the waist, folding, coming into a forward fold, leading the chest and the chin. Keeping the knees generously bent if this is the first significant movement you've had throughout the day. Inhale. And exhale, releasing. Inhale, coming to a half flat back, hands either on the shin or the thighs. The important thing is to keep those shoulders back, away from the ears instead of rounding through the back and the shoulders, creating a 7 shape with the body. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reach for the sky, straightening through the waist. Exhale, dropping the hands through center. Coming back into our mountain pose. Finding the breath. We'll just keep that going. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. You can slowly start to straighten through the legs if it feels good to you. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. Sorry, sometimes I get a few extra half flat backs in there if I lose track of where I am. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, back to mountain. Sometimes I just get wrapped up in the breath and totally focused, so forget where I am. So that's a half sun salutation. And this time we'll move through a full, working our way into downward dog. We'll inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half flat back. And this time on the exhale, we'll bring the hands to the ground in front of us, pressing into all 10 fingers. And we're gonna step the right foot back and then the left into a plank. For just a second, we'll inhale at the top and then exhale, lower everything to the mat, chest and the stomach or the ground, sorry. We'll inhale into baby cobra, bringing the elbows together toward each other, into the body, lifting the chest and the chin away from the mat. And exhale, release. Inhale to pause. And on the exhale, we'll tuck the toes, lifting up, pushing up into our plank and all the way back into our downward dog. Adjusting our stance. Inhale. And exhale, keeping the knees as bent as you need, lifting the tailbone up toward the sky to help get some length in the spine for a straight back. Inhale and exhale. And we're gonna work on opening the hips a little bit here. So we're gonna come into a three-legged dog, and we'll do a couple of versions of this. We'll drop that right knee or that right foot, right heel toward the ground for a little stability through that right leg. We're gonna lift that left foot up and back off the mat into a three-legged dog. So we're here and our shoulders are still even, our hips are still even, hip points facing the mat or the ground. And then we're just gonna start to bend that left knee, reaching the left foot toward the right buttocks, starting to open through the hips. But we're going to keep those shoulders even. We're opening the hips to stack the hip points over each other, the hips over each other, but trying to keep the shoulders even. So this is three-legged dog, the variation, opening the hip. And then on the exhale, we'll just bring that left foot back to the mat, back into our downward dog. And then actually here, before we move to the other side, we'll take a little break, because that can be a lot if you're not used to that type of movement, and just come into child's pose for just a moment, either wide-legged with the hips kind of pointing out to what would be the edges of the mat, or they can be together underneath the body. Just rest here for just a moment. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And next inhale, we'll just come back up to the knees, tuck the toes, and come back into our downward dog. And we'll do that same thing on the other side. So we'll drop the left heel toward the earth for a little stability. Lift that right leg up and back up off the mat into our three-legged dog. And then start to bend through that right knee. Bring the left heel toward, or the right heel toward the left buttocks. Keeping the shoulders even, stacking the hips over each other to open through that right hip. An inhale and an exhale. And we'll inhale, straighten through that leg. And exhale, drop it back to the mat. And we'll inhale to bend the knees, look to the top of the mat or your hands, and walk the feet forward. Up to meet the hands, releasing into our forward fold. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, hands through center. Coming back into our mountain. Coming back into the breath. Letting the breath steady. And instead of a resting pose, we'll take that energy we just cultivated, the blood now flowing. Maybe we feel a little more loose in the body. We'll take that and head to our current creative project. You do not have to turn off the video. We'll play some music. We'll remind you of the prompt and give you a nice dedicated space to create. Thanks so much for flowing with me today, warriors. If you like this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this, and go forth and create. Thank you, warriors. Namaste. Welcome to your creativity session. Don't worry about pausing or turning off the video. We'll play some music to keep your creativity flowing as you work. Challenge yourself to keep going until the video ends. You got this. And if you appreciate these videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Today's prompt is, once they realized we could email into the past, the world was never the same. But things got really bad when... Time's up, warriors. Great job. I hope this rut-busting flow and creativity session was helpful. Remember, no matter how much or how little you created in this session, you still made the time and showed up. If you want to make these sessions a regular thing, make sure to subscribe and hit the little notification bell to get notified whenever I have a new video. Have a wonderful day, warriors.